I'm Tommie Lee, and this is the Scam of the Week. Jan Diaz, always great to have you here from the Better Business Bureau.
Yeah, likewise, Tommie. It's always a pleasure to be here.
We have passed the date, the big date, May 7th, which was the deadline when the national Real ID requirement officially went into effect. And this is something that everyone 18 and over needs to pay attention to.
That's right. And you should know that travelers flying domestically or people entering certain federal facilities need a Real ID compliant license or an identification card or another TSA approved form of identification as of May 7th. So this change affects people in every state. And unfortunately, the requirement has opened the door for scammers to take advantage of the confusion.
So let's back up for a second. For anyone who hasn't heard anything about this, what exactly is a Real ID?
Yes. So a Real ID is a state-issued driver's license or identification card that meets increased federal security standards. So you can recognize it by the star in the top corner of the ID.
And this is a big deal, and I'm guessing that this is why scammers are jumping on it to take advantage of it.
Exactly. And scammers love moments like this that involve high stakes and tight timelines and lots of people who are not sure how the process works. It's really a recipe for fraudulent things to happen.
So let's dig into how the Real ID scam works.
You can expect the scam to start with an unsolicited text message or email or even a social media ad that claims to be from the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. So the message is a warning that you need to act immediately to get your Real ID, and the message includes a link. So that link, when you click on it, will send you to a fake website where you're asked to enter personal information like your social security number, driver's license details, or even credit card information. But the thing is, once you've handed over that information, it's in the hands of scammers who can then use it for identity theft or financial fraud.
Okay, so tell us how people can safely apply for the Real ID so they can avoid these scams.
Yes. So to get a Real ID in Indiana, you must personally visit a branch of the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. So that means that you should steer clear of any urgent messages about your Real ID that you didn't request, especially those with a link to click. And so you should also avoid websites, if you want to find information about it, that don't end in .gov, because those are almost always not the official website. So also beware of any messages with spelling errors or poor grammar or strange formatting at these websites, because that could be an indication of a fake website. So you'll want to ignore requests for payment or personal information through text or email. And here's the big one. The Bureau of Motor Vehicles will not contact you via unsolicited messages asking for sensitive information. So if you receive a message like that, it's almost certainly a scam.
And it's easy for scammers to pretend to be the BMV as well. So let's talk about how people can protect themselves from a Real ID scam.
Go directly to the official Bureau of Motor Vehicles website for Real ID information, and don't rely on links and emails or texts. And then never share personal or financial information unless you initiated the contact and you're sure it's the official government agency. And then also, again, as mentioned, look for the .gov and any website address that you go to related to Real ID. And then when in doubt, call your local Bureau of Motor Vehicles directly using the number listed on their official site if you have questions. And then remember, you must personally visit a branch of the BMV in order to obtain a Real ID.
Now, if somebody thinks that they've already clicked on a bad link or they've entered information, what should they do?
Just act quickly. And so if you think you've been targeted, report the scam to BBB at bbb.org/scam tracker. And then also notify the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov. And if you've shared financial information, contact your bank or credit card company immediately. And you may also want to consider placing a fraud alert or credit freeze with the credit bureau repositories to prevent identity theft.
Really valuable information, Jan. Now, that May 7th deadline has passed, and people are going to be searching for information. And unfortunately, the scammers are likely to continue targeting people with their Real ID scams when they do so.
Exactly. The Real ID is important, but getting it should never put your identity at risk.
Wise words as always, Jan. Thank you so much. Go straight to the source and don't let urgency cloud your judgment. Jan Diaz from the Better Business Bureau serving Northern Indiana. Take care. We will talk to you again next time.
Thanks, Tommie.
Podcasts by Federated Media.